Good afternoon. We start with breaking news on a major crash that's blocked the Harbour Bridge heading north. These pictures are in from our 7 News chopper a short time ago. 2 cars collided head-on in the northbound lanes coming out of the city. 3 people have been treated by paramedics and taken to hospital. It's caused traffic to bank back in both directions, and the knock-on effect is being felt right across the city. Drivers are warned to expect long delays. We'll keep you updated with the latest traffic alerts over the next hour. More disturbing details have been revealed in the Alan Jones trial for the indecent and sexual assault charges. The first witness has given more evidence about Jones's unwanted advances while staying at his Southern Highlands property. Chris Reason was in court for day 2 of his trial.
Good afternoon. Radio titan Alan Jones was well known for protecting his private life, but today hours of graphic allegations that left little to the imagination. The 85-year-old, facing 22 charges of indecent assault and sexual touching, arrived at court today to again be greeted by a significant media pack, firing questions that all went unanswered. Unlike inside court, where Jones watched as an alleged victim with the codename Complainant J answered every question in lurid detail, recalling a visit to Jones's sprawling Fitzroy Falls farm in 2004, claiming on the way there Jones had reached across in the car. He took hold of my leg and part of my penis and said, "Oh, what's that?" Once at the farm, Jones allegedly demanded the teenage sportsman change into a bathrobe, then rubbed his penis again. I was probably as scared and nervous as I was in a long time, like my heart was going to come out of my chest, said Complainant J. He asked to stop, went to his bedroom, Jones allegedly following and laying on the bed with him, groping him and suggesting they pleasured themselves. I thought it was the quickest way to get it over and done with, said Jay. He didn't report that incident or any of the other allegations to police until 20 years later, after he saw Jones's arrest on TV. Complainant Jay said he wanted to come forward because it was the right thing to do and that people needed him to do this. His cross-examination continues.
Police have been on a wild chase along the M5 in Sydney's southwest. The pursuit came to a crashing end on the River Road off-ramp at Revesby in front of shocked drivers. Rex Quayle has more.
A Mazda believed to have been stolen has taken police on a dangerous chase through Sydney that's narrowly avoided civilians and crashed on the M5 motorway. A worker on Rose Crescent, Regent's Park, filmed these extraordinary scenes. Police trying to set up a roadblock to stop the driver in his tracks, but he still finds a way around. All taking place in front of stunned workers, telling 7 News they'd seen police cars swarming the area.
Everywhere is a police car. They're just going that way. Some of them is going that way and some that way, so we're just confused. I don't know what's going on.
The chase started around 10:45 a.m. A police helicopter spotted the car on Eve Street in Guildford, but it ended on the M5, crashing in the Revesby area closer to midday, the car taking a beating and holding up traffic. A man in his 30s was taken to Liverpool Hospital under police guard in a stable condition. Details are still quite scarce at the moment. We're going to find out more info when the police speak to us in just a moment. Join us for all the details in the news at 6 p.m.
A frightening close call for a family at Preston's in our southwest. A car mounting the curb and ploughing straight through their living room last night. The owners happened to be at dinner, returning home to find the carnage and the alleged culprit.
He really shaking too, and he looked at me. He said, "You are the owner?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the owner." Yeah, but he said, "I'm really sorry for that."
The 50-year-old driver allegedly returned a positive roadside breath test. Police were investigating if he'd been drag racing with another car in the lead-up. The Strait of Hormuz remains at the centre of tensions in the Middle East. Donald Trump says the vital shipping route could reopen as soon as tomorrow. But Iran denies peace talks are happening at all. Miley Hogan has more from Washington, D.C.
Well, once again, there are conflicting statements about the so-called peace talks. Iran denies that they are in direct discussions with Washington, saying that instead they are talking with Oman about opening a potential safe route through the Strait of Hormuz. On the other hand, US President Donald Trump is insisting that Washington and Tehran are in direct negotiations. Speaking from the Oval Office today, US President Donald Trump said that he had called off an attack on Iran to allow diplomacy more time, suggesting that Iran had begged for these talks to take place.
When they're talking, they don't like saying that they're talking. So I say, wait, we're in talks. Big deal, we're in talks. And they'll sometimes deny it, even though they spend hours and hours together talking. No, the talks are going along.
Donald Trump has made a habit of threatening to hit Iran hard and then calling off the attack at the last minute. Again today, he threatened to escalate the war if Iran did not sign a deal, saying that this would be their last chance, while in the next breath saying that he would not issue them a deadline.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. If I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that chance, so I'm under no time constraint.
At this stage, there is little clarity about the progress of those negotiations and who is directly involved in those talks. It's all adding to the uncertainty about how or when this conflict will end.
Political debate is raging over Australia's housing downturn. The opposition releasing grim modelling suggesting thousands of first home buyers will go into negative equity. But economists and the government are questioning the maths. Josh Martin reports from Canberra.
Good afternoon. It's been 12 weeks since the federal budget was handed down, but it's still the key issue here in Canberra. The Coalition is warning 34,000 first home buyers who purchased under the 5% deposit scheme could lose $2.2 billion in value and go into negative equity where they owe more than their property is worth. It all hinges on a Morgan Stanley prediction that property prices will fall by 10%.
A collapsing housing market is not a good sign for a strong economy, and yet this is the result of Labor's taxes.
But KPMG says property prices will only fall by 1.1% this year before rebounding by 3.4% in 2027.
While it's difficult at the moment, most households aren't in arrears and should be able to see this downturn through.
The Reserve Bank Governor wasn't overly concerned by the issue either when speaking last week.
Negative equity remains very limited, affecting less than 1% of borrowers.
Labor sources accusing the opposition of doing its maths on the back of a napkin.
We want to see more first home buyers owning a home. That's what we're doing.
Senators from David Pocock to Pauline Hanson are calling for an immediate fix to Labor's so-called widow's tax when ownership of a property changes due to a partner's death or divorce. It strips grandfathered negative gearing and capital gains tax exemptions. Pocock has been contacted by a 44-year-old domestic violence victim who's been unable to refinance an investment property post-divorce.
Clearly everyone knows that this is an issue that the Parliament needs to deal with quickly.
7 News understands the government has been consulting and will release draft legislation to fix the issue this week.